Alright guys, in the last video I showed you how to create a table in a database if it does not exist already. In this video I will be showing you how to insert information into your database. So we can go ahead and start by creating yet another function, and we'll call this a public static void. Oops. And then we're going to go ahead and just name this one post because we're posting information. And again, as always, we need a throws exception. And then we can start coding now that we have our layout made. Now, the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and create two variables, and we're going to use the final method just to save a little bit of memory. And it's going to be a string. And let's go ahead and call this variable 1 equals to John, and then we'll say final string var2 is equal to Miller. And if you haven't gathered, these two, variable 1 and variable 2 is going to be our first and last name, John and Miller. Now we're going to go ahead and put this into a try statement. In this case, a try statement isn't necessary, but it is recommended. And we're going to go ahead and inside of our try statement, we're going to establish our connection using our connection that we just created, get connection, our function. And once we've established our connection, we'll come down and just like with the create table, we're going to go ahead and make another prepared statement. And we'll call this posted because it's our posted information. And we'll set that equal to our connection dot prepared statement string args, and here we'll have all of our SQL stuff. To insert into a database, we use the keyword insert into our table name. In this case, our table last one used was I am alive. And then it's what fields we want to insert into. So the first field is going to be first because that's our first name, and then last for our last name. Just like we created here, we have first, which is a varchar, and we have last, which is a varchar. This was where we created our table. And then we also need to tell it what values to use. So we're going to use values and set them equal to whatever we put in here. Now, with this, there's a couple different ways to get variables into our string. I'm just going to use the simplest to learn, and that is just actually doing a single quote because it needs to be a string, ending our quote string, adding our variable 1, and then adding quote, semi-quote, or half quote, whatever you want to call it, comma, and then doing the same thing again here. And this looks a little bit confusing, but just hang in there and I'll go back and explain what we're doing with this in just a second. And there we go. That should work. We just need to add a catch statement. So what we did here is we told it that we're going to insert into this table using post in the field name first, post variable 1, and in field name 2, post variable 2. Here we're just ending our string, putting in the variable, and re-encapsulating our string and continuing. Keep in mind these values have to be comma separated, and they have to be in the single quote here because it is a string or a varchar. So now that we have our prepared statement already, we can come down and actually run our statement. So it will be posted.execute update, and then we'll put a semicolon to end our line. And the quick difference, because we'll be going over this in the next video, execute update and execute query. Query, we're receiving information. Update, we're manipulating information or adding in this case. So once we have actually ran that statement, we can add our catch statement, make sure nothing went wrong. We'll take the exceptions as E, and then we'll system.out.println E. And I may have mistyped something here. See? Nope, that all works. And then we can go ahead and also add a finally statement, which just says print out a new line. So system.out.println and then insert completed. And there we go. Now when we call this post function, we'll come down, we'll create our first two variables, and these can be any string you want. I just created John and Miller to give you a quick example, and came down, established our connection, ran a prepared statement, we called it post. This is our statement. We executed the statement, we caught any errors and told us what the errors were, and finally we told us that the function was complete. So from up here, we'll go ahead and test this. We'll keep our create table function up here because if that table doesn't exist, we still want to create it. So we'll use post, and when we run this, comes down and it says we're connected. We've created our table, we've connected, and our insert is complete. So now that the insert is complete, we should have some data in our database. So again, I'll open up my favorite little SQL database visual designer here and give that just a second to load. And I'll go into testDB, which is what we're under, tables, I am alive, and in here you can see that we have John Miller in our database. In the next video, I will show you actually how to select all of this through your Java code and how to manage it from there.